What's up, sports bettors? Alex here, and I'm going to take you through some late night bets. What is more fun than making money sports betting? So we're going to be going through one. So this is the first pick I just locked in. So I love the frickin' value, right? So we're on Soon Woo Kwon minus 195 on the money line. I hit that for 3.5K. It's still available. Hopefully you're able to hit it because this bet is ridiculous. Wait, I got to change this to American odds. So this bet, why do we like it? Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the betting market, right? So as an OddsJam user, you're using data, math to trying to find these edges, right? So what you'll notice, one second. So anyways, what you will notice, let's get back to it. Let's go back to Caesars, right? So what you'll notice about any bet on OddsJam, what you should notice with the recommended filters on, is these bets have ridiculous value, right? And kind of, as I say in normal videos, as a sports bettor, you're always looking for value. That's literally all that matters in the long run is getting great value, getting great prices, right? Sports betting has variance. So if you're able to bet Kwon at minus 160 odds, that's just a good bet, right? Looking at the betting market, it's an incredible bet. If you're able to bet Verdasco at plus, let's say 300, it's just ridiculous value, right? It's kind of like if someone told you, hey, you can buy this stock that's trading in the market for $100 cheaper than everyone else's. Seems like a good deal to buy that stock. Or someone tells you, hey, you can sell this stock $400, higher than everyone else's. That seems like a good deal. So it's the same thing in sports betting. When you're able to pick up insane prices, which OddsJam is, constantly scanning the market for, is these bets with ridiculous value, right? That's essentially exactly what OddsJam does, is it just updates all these lines in real time to try to show you essentially just big line discrepancies where you actually have the edge as a sports bettor. So what's interesting about this bet in particular is, right, Kwon is minus 195 on Caesars. That's an arbitrage bet to FanDuel, to Bet Online, and to Pinnacle. So essentially, either Caesars is wrong or one of these sports books is wrong. And the reason for that is we could place bets on Verdasco, on FanDuel, or Bet Online, or Pinnacle, and then Kwon at minus 195 on Caesars and make a risk-free profit, right? So by definition, this bet, one of these bets at least, has to be profitable. One of these bets by definition has to be mathematically profitable if you can bet on both players and make a risk-free profit. That's called arbitrage betting, right? It's literally, it's very hard because the lines can move quickly. But arbitrage betting just essentially means, due to huge discrepancies in sportsbook odds, like you can see right here, DraftKings is pricing, this over at minus 235. FanDuel only has it minus 155. So due to the differences in odds, where can you bet equal and opposite outcomes, turn a risk-free profit? That's what arbitrage betting is. And you can see there's some tennis bets, whatever. And these percentages don't seem big, which always surprises people. Like who cares about arbitrage? 2%, right? The return of the stock market's 8% a year. This is risk-free money. You're earning a risk-free 2%. In this game's going to be over in 12 hours. Risk-free 2% in 12 hours, 4% in a day. 2 days, you're earning an 8% return, right? If you're able to successfully arbitrage bet and move around the sports books quickly, navigate the sports books, you're going to make a lot of money. So anyways, let's go back here. I got to add my bets. So we have Kwon money line, and then we bet him minus 195 on Caesars, 3,500. Shoot, I forgot the EV percentage. I think it was like 1.8 or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Maybe this column's not even relevant really because it's not related to actual profit. But our first bet lost on the Yankees. But this one settles tomorrow, so that looks correct. So what we can do next is just, what I typically do is just go back to OddsJam, hit refresh, and you see what else is out there, right? The sports betting market's constantly moving. Now, being able to get it at FanDuel at minus 205 seems pretty good. If you can get Quoon minus 205 on FanDuel, not as good as plus 102, but hey, not terrible. Here's another one, right? You can see right here, Angels, Yankees, yes run first inning, arbitrage bet, could earn a risk-free profit of 0.5%. No other sports books, right? Pinnacle has this favored. FanDuel has this favored. The over seems pretty good, right? So if we go here, and essentially like the filters on OddsJam are just kind of to like help, the very beginner sports bettors as you kind of learn about the importance or like different sports books, how the market works. You can turn off filters. It's just, in my opinion, more risky, especially if you're new to sports betting and just looking to make money, because I truly believe that you can basically blindly bet the EV page and make a lot of money right now. If you have filters on. Once the filters are off, there's a lot of considerations in terms of player props, things like that. Like, for example, FanDuel, I'm pretty sure they grade player bases bets differently. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure these bets overall have are graded differently. Like, I don't know. I don't have another way to say it. So I think like for some player props, sportsbooks can switch around rules in terms of how they grade the bets, which is very different than like obviously money lines and things like this. So we can go to the Angels game. And then we want to take the yes run first inning. So you got to know how to navigate these books quickly, especially if you're arbitrage betting. So you go to runs and then yes, and then we can hit this bet for $500. So this is yes run first inning, Yankees, Angels. They took it. So let's hit this. So then we have yes run first inning, Angels, Yankees at plus 100. And this is on Caesars. And what was the profit margin? 1.86%. So 1.86%. And then we hit this for $500. Okay. So essentially what filters does, right, is it strips out the markets where, sports books could grade bets differently, such as player bases, right? For example, for player bases markets, it depending on the sports book, does the player pinch hit or not? And sometimes it doesn't matter, right? Like once lineups are released and a player's starting, it doesn't really matter. Like a player bases arb should be a player bases arb, but if it's a player who may pinch hit, then like the dynamics changes, because then two sports books are grading bets differently. So you can't like compare them between one another, because FanDuel may grade a bet as a win if, the player pinch hits, and then DraftKings may grade the bet as a void and vice versa, things like that. So you can't like compare the odds to one another because they're technically different bets, because if a player pinch hits, it's graded differently. So it's not the same bet, even though it has the exact same name, it's not the same bet, right? So anyways, I don't know if FanDuel logged into, but maybe I should just log into FanDuel as well, because there appear to be some good bets. And as always, I'm never opposed to a good bet. So what we can do is just log into FanDuel very briefly. Take a sip of my sparkling water, and then we'll log into FanDuel, and we can hit some bets. Love making money. So we're now in FanDuel. Okay. Which seems like it's been a bit of a rough stretch. Well, this tennis boost one, maybe not. I'm not particularly sure. Not terrible. Decent, actually pretty good recently. I think we were on a bit of a losing streak before, but today looks pretty good on FanDuel, so that's great. Always happy for good days. So what we can do is just refresh. How do we feel about this? Plus 102. Like, this is ridiculous, right? Like, Borna Gojo is plus 102 on FanDuel. DraftKings has this favored. So the no vig odds here, if you take the midpoint, would be like minus 105. Bet Online, a very sharp sports book, also has this favored. Every sharp bookmaker is pricing this as a favorite, and we're getting it plus 102. Seems pretty good. So what we can do is just go here and bet it. And like, again, like sports betting is really a volume game, right? You got to place a lot of bets, and you got to move quickly, and you got to know how to navigate sports books. And because if you're placing one bet, you're not going to make money. It's not how it works. Anyways, we'll see if I can find it. I typically have issues finding it. So I'm not sure if this is the bet. Who is Goja? So anyways, I'm not exactly sure who Borna Gojo is. Is that the same as Gojo Wisekick? But regardless, probably a little screwed up. So let's just skip it up. So we'll skip it. And then there's nothing else. So anyways, we have 2 bets already. This one is much better than the other one. The second one has $9.30 in profit margin. The first one has $63 in profit margin. $63 in profit margin sounds pretty good to me. This one, skipping over. This one moved. You can see from -104 to -114. So these lines can move quickly. So you do need to move quickly. We have some positive EV plays on Coastal Carolina. You can check this out. Here, maybe this is a play you want to hold off on a bit, which is why the filters aren't showing it, right? The filters, OddsJam obviously has more data than anyone. So essentially all the filters do with it is it takes all the data in the betting market, like literally every sportsbook's odds, where every sportsbook is setting the line, and all the historical data on sportsbook accuracy, and essentially tries to use that information to zone in on a narrow quantity of bets that are guaranteed basically to be profitable, to have an edge, right? Not necessarily to win. It's not possible to win every sports bet, but to have an edge. And if you're only placing bets with an edge, you're going to make money. So like this, for example, is like, okay, FanDuel has the total at 54.5. Most books have it at 53.5. So it seems a little good, but maybe this is a bet we lay off of because you can see right here, Bet Online, one sharp sportsbook, has the over 53.5 favored, whereas Pinnacle, another sharp sportsbook, has the under favored. So like the 2 sharp sportsbooks, Pinnacle sharper, but the 2 sharp sportsbooks are kind of in disagreement. So maybe it's a little less clear for this one. So you want to hold off, right? And that's why the filters don't show it, right? If that makes sense. So the filters just essentially like takes all of this data in the market and essentially tries to, show you, okay, what do we think about this bet given, all the information we know. Liverpool plus 122, that seems pretty good, right? This bet, the midpoint of Bet Online's market is plus 120. We're getting plus 122. Midpoint of DraftKings market plus 120. We're getting plus 122. That looks very good to Pinnacle. 1.08% profit margin. Who doesn't love soccer betting? So we can go to leagues and we can go to the English Premier League. And then we can go to Liverpool. And again, it's all about, really just letting these games. I already have a bet on this. I think I already bet Liverpool over 2.5 at plus 146 odds. So my assumption is I'm not going to be able to rebet this, but we'll see. So we go to the home team. Nope. We want this, and we'll see if they let me bet more. 270. Heck yeah. So we get 270.5 Liverpool team total. Highly recommend tailing it. Track your bets, right? Like one super annoying thing is when people are like, I don't know if I made money. So try to track your profit and loss. Because if you don't know if you're making money, why even bother? Track your profit and loss. I love to track, my edge, right? Just this percent times from OddsJam times your stake is your profit margin in dollars. So I think that's a very good thing to track. Just because, so Liverpool over 2.5 team total, and then this is 831, and then this is 830. So, some bets much higher profit margins and much higher bet sizes than others. You can see FanDuel only gave us 270.5. Like you can't, especially if you're winning big, you can't get unlimited bet sizes down. But of course, like that's kind of just part of the game. And, you got to find more bets. Just kind of how it is. Anyways, you don't want that much exposure to a single bet as well. So I think that's, not the end of the world, but I could be wrong. So this looks, how does that look? I mean, maybe a little decent, but here it's like maybe this one you like a little less because, hey, there's only 2 sports books we have odds from, Pinnacle and FanDuel. This OddsJam column is the same line as Pinnacle. So maybe this isn't, a bet we love as much because there's less sports books to compare it to, right? More data in the market is better, right? The more sports books you're able to look at odds from, the better. So we can refresh this, see what's out there. So this moved again. That looks pretty good. Del bonus minus 104. A little decent, kind of like higher market width here, 50 cents. It's still showing up with the filters on. So OddsJam really likes it. The filters really like it. The algos really like it. But, and it is a pretty clear pricing discrepancy, but, there is a bit higher market width. So maybe we hold off for a sec and refresh and see what else is out there. Same stuff. So we've placed 3 bets, total profit margin, 72, 75 bucks, around $75 during this video, and profit margin doesn't seem terrible. So I just kind of like flip between them on and off. And again, if you want to make risk-free money, you can do that. Arbitrage, we have a bunch of videos on it. You can learn about it from this handsome man. This is for your free bets. So you have a free bet, you want to convert it into cash risk-free. You don't like risk. This tool will do exactly that for you. Again, I recommend like doing these quick start wizards that will kind of take you through that Randall wrote. I think they're quite helpful if you're new to sports betting. This is pretty useful if you want VIP programs. So what you'll notice is if we actually go back to Caesars, is what I can do is go here, and then I can go to rewards points, and I redeem these from time to time. But what you can see is, on top of me placing sharp bets and literally arbitrage bets where you're making risk-free money, they give you rewards credits. So what you can do is turn these rewards credits into cash. So I'm literally going to get a risk-free $168 just from, placing bets on Caesars where I was already going to place bets because I make a lot of money off Caesars. So I'm already going to place bets on you, Caesars. And now they're just giving you it's essentially like cash back. It's like a credit card, right? Which is wild, but it's basically what it is. We'll see if they let me redeem it, but 16,800. So you do this, and then it says you get $168 in bonus cash, and it's like, okay. And we click that, and then it's like, okay. And then it's like, okay. And then we go here, and then you see you have a bonus balance, which just has to be bet once to convert it into cash. So pretty cool. So low holds, essentially, like if you can just hit these low holds, like you could literally just hit these and earn free rewards credits. Even if there's no ARBs, no EV bets, like we just cashed out $168 in rewards credits from Caesars in like a couple days. It's not that hard to, wow. Talk about low juice market. West Virginia plus 7.5, minus 102. Anyways. So, not much out there right now, it looks like, in terms of that screen. But again, the market's always moving. Sportsbooks are always taking around odds. So really, the more money you want to make, the more positive EV bets you can find, the more arbitrage bets you can find, the more middle bets, the more money you're going to make. The people who make the most money with OddsJam, because there are people who make tens of thousands of dollars a month, are constantly on the site. You have to constantly be on the site because you never know when the best bets are going to occur, right? We just hit that Quoon bet. It is now gone, right? So it's now gone. So you can't hit it. But just something to consider is the more you use the product, the more money you make, as well as just understanding the product is important. So here's another bet that looks decent, right? We got the Panthers minus 125. If you want to start dabbling in some NFL, lines have been moving towards the Panthers for a while now, which is pretty interesting. Dolphins first half money line looks pretty good. So not great, but that definitely looks like it's a pricing discrepancy. So a lot out there, and I don't even use that many sports books, right? So we have a strikeout prop, looks really good, right? FanDuel seems to screw up the most on strikeouts. So strikeouts are very profitable. Highly recommend betting them. Literally every sportsbook has the under favored except FanDuel, giving us plus 106. So what we can do is just go here. And then you got to move quick. So we want Jay Lazardo. What's this guy's name? Lazardo. Here we go. And then you want to go to strikeouts, which you got to know where it is. player strikeouts, under 5.5, plus 106. And of course, they're only going to give me 28.30, but like, you can hit it, you cannot hit it. It's not a ton, but whatever, we'll take it. So we have 28.30. The profit margin of this is 5.37%, which is wild. So even for a 28.30 bet, our bet has 152 in profit margin, which if you think about it is pretty crazy. So this is this guy under 5.5 Ks. So we had this. So under 5.5 Ks. And then we bet this plus 106. I'm not sure why the formatting is screwed up. Looks stupid. There we go. And then we have this on FanDuel. Okay. So 202 in expected profit margin. We're down 250. Classic. But anyways, the first bet settled. So kind of refreshed, and that's just all you do, really. Like your day trading sports, you're looking for bets that are on sale, that are super cheap, where you're getting a ton of value. So hopefully this was helpful, but like try to look at all data in the market, right? Like this looks even a little decent. Myar Sheriff, right? Caesars has this favored. Bet Online has this favored. Pinnacle has this favored. We're getting plus 102 on FanDuel. Granted, not super high EV, but we should have stronger conviction based in the markets on all these sharp bookmakers that this bet is very good, right? So what we can do is just go to tennis, and then we can go to Sharif, whoever this lady is, Sheriff, and see if we can find her, Sheriff. And then we can, bet it. And obviously bet whatever you're comfortable with, but this bet looks pretty good. 245.10. So we have 245.10, and then this is on Sheriff. I'm going to botch this name, so let's just copy and paste it. Plus 102, 245.10. Plus 102, FanDuel, 245.10. This was 0.9. 0.09. $22 in profit margin. Nope. 0.009. There we go. 221 in profit margin. This game's tomorrow. Next sharp bet in. More sharp bets, the better. Hit refresh, see what else is out there. Same thing over and over and over again. Keep doing it to make money. Betting on sports. Here, George Kirby, plus 120. Looks incredible. Another one. Again, I'm not even going to bother betting it after how much they gave me on Jesus Luzardo, but you get the point. Incredible value. Another bet to lock in. Zach Gallen. Looks pretty good. Right? Filters is pretty dialed in terms of only showing you mathematically profitable bets. So try to hit these player prop ones on FanDuel. Jesus Luzardo, plus 106, under 5.5. George Kirby. They all look great. So hopefully you found this helpful. And we got a few bets open now that we hit during the stream. We have Kuhn money line. This is tennis. ATP tennis, US Open. I don't know who he's playing, but we can take a look at who he's playing. How did I do today? Well, I lost the last two bets at least. But what do we have? So this is against Verdasco. So we can just add that here, just so we remember. And then what else do we want to do? We have the yes run first inning in Angels Yankees, Liverpool team total on Wednesday. We have this game spread bet. And honestly, that's it for now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know any questions. Contact@oddsjam.com. Comment down below. Let's make some money.